All right, good afternoon, and sincere welcome and thank you for joining us. This is another great day for Lincoln. We started this adventure back in December of 2004, and in less than 10 years we've transitioned literally 180 degrees from a loud, scary, contaminated rail yard to something that is pretty special and dynamic in our city. There's a lot that I'd like to say this afternoon, but as you can see, we've got quite a list of dignitaries, VIPs, so I will do my best to keep this short, and that's why I'm trying to read to stay on track. I guess, things that I really do want to emphasize: local, global, organic collaboration, but I'm going to focus on one thing, and that's the most important thing, and that is thank yous. My list of individuals, I sat down last night and came up with well over 100 people that I needed to thank, and I thought that would take quite a while, so I think I'm going to focus more on groups. First of all, I guess this adventure, it's been a blur, heart racing, pulse thumping, and a full sprint that was only possible through selfless collaboration. My first thank you goes out to my wife and my daughters, also my shorter twin brother Robert, and our staff and family at WRK. Next, I'd like to thank our partners of the project, Nelnet, Chief Industries, and Speedway Motors. Also our design and construction team, Chief Construction with assistance from Sampson Construction, Klein Williams, Sinclair Hilly, Encompass, Euchre, Schnackle, Benish, and Olson. On behalf of our partners and team, many more thanks to our friends and talented staff at the city, all of our elected officials, the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development, Lincoln's business community, Governor Ricketts and his staff. Last but not least, I would like to thank Hudl and Nelnet. Your interest in investment in Lincoln's West Haymarket will bring dynamic change and a needed new dimension to our wonderful city. You have chosen and believe in Lincoln at a critical time, and that is a lot of awesome. We have a great group of VIPs that will say a few words, and so I'd like to first recognize all of our elected officials. I did see quite a few out here. I actually have the mayor of Hastings in the audience, but I do want to give a quick applause to all the elected officials. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you in order of speaking, first Mayor Chris Beitler, and then Wendy Birdsall, Regent Tim Clare, Coach Tim Miles, Clay Smith, Jeff Nordick, and finally David Graff. It is truly an honor to work with all of them, their teams, and the city of Lincoln executing our city's vision. So I do get to back cleanup just in case Coach Miles beats on me a little bit.
This vision of the Haymarket is playing out, and it's playing out on the very best of terms with this new corporate headquarters that will involve hundreds of tech jobs and even more energy to the West Haymarket, of course. The city is very pleased, of course, to have been a partner in all of this, especially in a project that has the ultimate effect of helping Hudl and companies like Hudl and Nelnet to attract more incredibly competent young people to this community and to this city of Lincoln. I want to personally thank David Graff and Brian Kaiser and John Wirtz, the founders of Hudl, and I want to thank each and every one of you who's working for Hudl. Together you've built an incredible model. Obviously something that spreads out across the globe is some incredible phenomenon. Also want to recognize Nelnet, who plans to use a part of the facility, as most of you know, to expand its technology footprint in Lincoln, creating even more job opportunities in this community. When we embarked on this journey with the West Haymarket, what's happening today is exactly what we hoped would happen. And with the addition of Hudl's headquarters, we are even more confident that the West Haymarket area will continue to flourish and to build out very, very rapidly. So at this point, we are good to go. On Monday, the Lincoln City Council unanimously approved the redevelopment agreement, the tax increment financing package, the funding for the Skywalk, The West Haymarket JPA has approved of the sale of the property. They've approved of instant progress starting in just a couple of weeks on construction. So everything is ready to go. We did make one promise that we have not yet fulfilled, and that was that the basketball team would win 20 games this year. And we've assigned the fulfillment of that imperative to Coach Miles, who will be speaking here quite soon. So thank you all very much.
Hi, I'm Wendy Birdsall. I'm the president of the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce and the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development. And on behalf of our members and our board members, I want to add to our official congratulations to Hudl and Nelnet for this groundbreaking on this project today. As we stand here on this bare stretch of dirt and gravel, I think back to an artist's rendering of the future West Haymarket, hanging on the back of one of our whiteboards at the Chamber of Commerce. And I thought to myself, wow, wouldn't that be really cool if we could actually accomplish that? It wasn't that long ago. And here we are today. And thanks to the hard work of the people gathered here today, we are realizing the dream of growing jobs of tomorrow right here in Lincoln today. And I think it's fitting that we do this groundbreaking is occurring at the same time. A new study shows that the fastest growing states for technology jobs this year isn't California, where Silicon Valley's legion of tech firms grab the national headlines on a regular basis. It's not New York, it's not Texas, or it's not some other coastal state. Instead, it's states like Nebraska that are pushing ahead in fostering tech talent. The study shows that we ranked third behind Minnesota and Utah, which comes to when it comes to tech-related job growth through the first 6 months of this year. We really have a recipe for success here in Lincoln. We have a business community that embraces the ideas and culture of the startup world, a university system that is doing the right things to help students get a head start for the future, and a city that values young professionals' needs, wants, and to keep them here. And a State Department of Economic Development that goes out of its way to ensure that these type of projects can occur throughout Nebraska. This day is all about our next generation and what the future holds for Hudl and Nelnet. And I couldn't be more proud to be the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Lincoln, Nebraska on a day like today. Thank you.
Let me say how delighted I am to be here for this exciting day. It truly is an exciting day for Hudl, but also for our city and our state and for the University of Nebraska, which considers Hudl to be one of our greatest success stories. I want to congratulate the Hudl team, starting with its founders, David Graff, John Wirtz, Brian Kaiser, all University of Nebraska graduates on this new chapter in their company's story. As Wendy mentioned a few weeks ago, Forbes magazine came out with a list of states where tech jobs are growing the fastest. And Nebraska, think about that, was listed as number 3. What a great point of pride for our state. It is because of companies like Hudl that we are earning the national recognition and reputation for growth in our tech-based economy. Hudl got its start the way many companies do, with an idea of how to do something better. A few early clients liked the idea, a company was born, more team members were hired, and almost a decade and 3.5 million users later, here we are. Very exciting, a textbook of sorts on how to. Workforce development is one of the most important priorities to the Board of Regents. Hudl's story in workforce development is exactly the type of story we want to see replicated many times over across the University of Nebraska. Talented students taking skills they learn in our classrooms and applying them to real-life challenges. Think about it. Students who graduate are not just getting jobs, but they're creating jobs. And then keeping those jobs right here in Nebraska, making our state a more attractive place for the best and brightest. Hudl has done a tremendous job of growing the economy in Lincoln and in Nebraska, in a variety of ways, and I am deeply proud as both a regent for the University of Nebraska, where they received their education, and as a citizen for our city. Hudl has not forgotten about its roots either. The company offers internships to our students, they hire our graduates, and they're a regular collaborator with programs at the university such as the Rakes program, the foundation, and also with the city, just to name a few. In this way, Hudl is keeping the pipeline of computer scientists and IT professionals strong, preparing the next generation of Nebraska's tech workers. Congratulations again to David, John, and Brian, and all of their team at Hudl on this exciting milestone. I can't wait to see how Hudl continues to grow the economy in our state, and beyond that, I'm excited to see how their success inspires other young entrepreneurs. My hope right now is that in a classroom or a lab or a dorm room somewhere at the University of Nebraska, a seed of an idea for the next Hudl is taking shape, and that 10 years from now, we'll be celebrating a groundbreaking for that successful company. On behalf of the Board of Regents, congratulations.
Good afternoon, I'm Tim Miles. Technically, I'm not even a person. My chair, it says @Coach Miles, so I'm just a character on the internet. I had a great, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm pretty sure it was for that. But, you know, I had a speech written, but unfortunately, you know, I didn't check the forecast, so this is going to work or may lightning strike me down. I'm going to take that out of my speech. So, but honestly, I thought that was funnier than it appeared to be either, but whatever. If you're going to, you know, by the way, Hudl, and all you Hudl multicolored out there, a couple of things I want you to know. Good news, bad news. You know, I know just a little about Hudl from Allie Davison over here, and it sounds like a great place to work, but it sounds like they're building this new office complex, and they're actually going to expect you to come to the office, right? Because you can kind of do whatever you want now. You go over to the mill and you do that, you know. But I think they're putting a whole bunch of money. You got to go in your office now. So that's bad news for you. Good news is, apparently, according to Tim Clare, who had did you see his speech? He had 3 pages. And usually you look at an old guy like Tim Clare and you say, you know, he's got 16-point font on that thing. But he must be nearsighted because it was 8. But he reads really quick. So, but he also indicated to me, I don't know what you guys heard, but apparently you're on the hook for the entire economy of Nebraska? Is that what he said, Tim? Did I mistake that? I don't know. This Hudl mic is screwing it up. But they can't do mics for crap. But don't buy their mics. But other than that, they're great. I had one more thing to take up here besides with the mayor. I'll tell Connie she's got to win 30, so if we win 10, it all evens out. You got that, boss? All right, good. Thank you. And the last thing was I met Will Scott. And we had lunch, and it was real nice, and I got stuck buying. And what was funny was I did meet his shorter brother, Robert. And what he didn't tell me was how much more charismatic and handsome and witty he was than Will. So now I know that. But this is really a day for Hudl, for people like me who are involved in the athletics community, just to say, great job and thank you. As a member of the Lincoln community, investing in this community the way you have and the way everybody is really cool. You wouldn't have to. And a lot of people don't. And I think this is a huge moment for Lincoln, for the West Haymarket, and for you know, everybody that bought in early to your vision, Will. And I know Nelnet and Speedway came in early. I know some guys that didn't come in early and invested other places. And that didn't work out so well. In fact, it makes me I'd like to say his name. I would get a great joke of that, but I'm not gonna. Allie, you know who I'm talking about, but it's not Matt. All right, but it's one of those things that you see a thriving company like this, and it's awesome that you guys are doing what you're doing today, and thanks for having us. This is going to be a good thing for everybody. I would also like to just introduce one of the people involved in this from Speedway. Clay Smith is going to be our next speaker. Tim was supposed to introduce me, But now you know I really don't exist. That's why he didn't. I'm just a figure on the internet. So with that, Clay, thank you.
Good afternoon. Tim's a tough act to follow, sir. I'm Clay Smith. I'm the president of Speedway Motors and Speedway Properties. What a joy it is for me to be here today with you, to be part of this development team, and to join with you in celebrating the creation of a new home for Lincoln's most treasured companies. Hudl, born at the Rake School at the University of Nebraska, and Nelnet, created by one of Lincoln's most distinguished families, the Dunlap family. The reach of their business is measured in continents, not mere miles. Nelnet, they could locate anywhere in the country. Hudl, with its global reach, they could locate almost anywhere in the world. But they're homegrown, and as a result, they both choose to remain in Lincoln. Over the next few months, you'll see this building start to take shape, and then will come all the life that comes out of this building. The story of this building is not really going to be told by cement or steel. It's going to be written by the accomplishments of these two great companies and their entrepreneurial teams. Their future is boundless. Their opportunities are endless. I too want to give a special thanks to all those that have helped make this day possible. Mayor Beitler, David Landis and the Urban Development Team, the City Council of Lincoln, LPED, and our friends at the JPA. It's your leadership and unwavering support that makes today possible. For myself and the entire Speedway family, we are proud to be a part of this celebration. We're proud to be a part of this team. And we've worked so closely with David, John, and Brian for nearly a decade. So we're thrilled for Hudl, we're thrilled for Nelnet, but most of all, we're thrilled for Lincoln. We're excited to see the next chapter of growth as Hudl and Nelnet settle into their new Haymarket home. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Clay. We are excited to be a part of this project and to help facilitate the growth of Hudl and further expand the technology footprint of Nelnet in Lincoln. The Hudl story is something the town should be proud of. 3 super bright local entrepreneurs create a solution to a problem facing the Husker football team, and the next thing you know, they have a game-changing product being used across the globe to help the world's best athletes and coaches. The name Hudl has become ubiquitous in the world of sports video analysis. It has become synonymous with sports highlight film like Kleenex is to tissue. We are calling this the Hudl Global Headquarters, but it is not just for Hudl. I believe it can be a catalyst for great things to come for all of Lincoln. The building will allow Hudl and Nelnet to attract and retain the best and brightest tech industry talent to our town. The most immediate impact on Lincoln will be the money multiplier effect. New money brought into the community that is spent again and again. It starts with the lawyers, the architects, the construction crews, and then the high-tech jobs. Yes, lots of great salaries with high-tech jobs. Business analysts, software engineers, data analysts, technical support professionals. The list goes on and on. In his book, The New Geography of Jobs, respected economist Enrico Manetti states that attracting a scientist or a software engineer to a city triggers a substantial chain of economic multiplier effect for both skilled and unskilled workers outside of tech. That for each new tech job in a metropolitan area, 5 additional jobs are created outside of high tech. These 5 jobs include 2 professional jobs such as doctors, dentists, lawyers, teachers, and 3 non-professional jobs with that. Hudl is going to grow to over 450 high-tech jobs in Lincoln in this new building. Nelnet is going to add at least another 100. Do the math, and that means over 2,750 jobs, other jobs outside of tech, will be created as a result of the city encouraging this company to put its stake in the ground right here. Now imagine if other companies start to realize they can also build a large technology staff in Lincoln, Nebraska. What if this type of thinking becomes prevalent in this city? The type of thinking that goes like this. If Hudl can build a world-class tech company in Lincoln, maybe we can too. We don't have to go to Palo Alto, Seattle, Austin, or Denver. Imagine if other startups start to follow suit. Imagine others start to think like David, John, and Brian, and want to build a company in Lincoln knowing they can attract top talent to our city on the promise of our quality of life, our parks, our schools, our bike paths, our entertainment, and yes, someday our bars and restaurants, coupled with the ability to attract and retain a skilled, high-tech labor force. Yes, they have solved the problem for Husker football, and now the Hudl headquarters is a touchdown for all of Lincoln. I'd like to introduce David Graff, CEO of Hudl.
We'd like to say a very special thanks to Mayor Beitler, to the Chamber of Commerce, to the City Council, and to the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development, and to the countless others that made this possible for all of us to be here this evening. Today's exciting for a number of reasons. First and foremost, it's actually happening, which we're really excited about. We've been stacked on top of each other at our offices for quite a while, so the prospect of bringing everybody back together under one roof is very exciting to everybody on our team. Also, the fact is we just couldn't have done it without the overwhelming support from the City of Lincoln. When we announced our plans back in April, there was still a lot to do. Everyone we've met along the way, through the City Council, through the Historic Preservation Committee, through the Urban Planning Committee, has been very supportive and very helpful along this path. It's also exciting for us to have the chance to continue working with WRK, with Chief Industries, with Nelnet, and with Speedway. These companies made a huge impact on the growth of our city, and we're thrilled to join in that effort. In our eyes, this is another important step in realizing the vision that many have had for this area. Back in 2007, we were a company of 4 full-timers and moved to the Haymarket for the very first time. At that time, we hoped that the Haymarket would become the world-class place for amazing companies to thrive. 8 years later, it's incredible to see what this area and what the City of Lincoln have become. We're focused on keeping talented graduates from the universities here in Lincoln and enticing top talent from around the country to move and to build their families here in the City of Lincoln. This building is going to help make that possible. We're working hard to make sure the building itself is awesome, but even more amazing is what's going to happen inside. Right here, on this land, a team of amazing, world-class engineers are going to build the software that powers professional and amateur clubs around the world, including 29 NBA teams, all 20 English Premier League clubs, and 95% of high school and college American football. In this building, we're going to have an amazing support team that's working around the clock to take care of coaches and athletes from around the world. This new building is a giant step in continuing our commitment to call Lincoln home. It's where Hudl started, it's where we've grown, and it's where we hope to stay for a very long time. Thank you again.
Just a few last words before we pull out the weapons and move a little dirt. Want to recognize 2 others in the audience, VIPs, that I noticed. Chancellor Perlman is here with us today, as well as our athletic director, Sean Eichhorst. Thank you for coming. This project is happening for all the right reasons. Faster than we ever imagined, 2 of Lincoln's finest companies are changing not only our skyline, but the dimension in our city, bringing new life to the entire city. We are so happy to share this excitement and progress with all of you and invite you to join us just north, hop, skip, and a jump in the rail yard for a little fun, provided by all of our friends at Hudl. So on behalf of our partners, we thank you for making today possible, and let's move a little dirt.